Good day, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'll be discussing a new initiative launched at ICS. In collaboration with several departments within the institution, we're working to develop northern-centric chronic disease algorithms that can be applied to province-wide administrative data to advance various research endeavors in Northern Ontario. I'm co-investigator on projects funded by NOAMA. I'm also a staff scientist at ICS North and HSNRI and lecturer at NOSMU. This session has not received financial or in-kind support. The allocation and delivery of healthcare resources in northern, rural, and remote communities of Ontario is complicated by its geographical expansiveness and dispersed population. Researchers and policymakers rely on robust and high-quality data to drive decision-making in the region. To understand our population, the NHRC Initiative, an acronym for Northern and Rural Algorithm Validation, hopes to develop, validate, and apply diagnostic algorithms to administrative healthcare data to quantify new and existing diagnoses of various chronic conditions. Examples include diabetes, dementia, rheumatoid arthritis, to name a few. In the top left quadrant, we demonstrate how an algorithm is developed. First, based on clinical domain knowledge, we identify several diagnostic algorithm definitions indicative of what the healthcare interaction would look like immediately preceding or proximal to date of diagnosis. These definitions comprise encounters across Ontario's public healthcare system tracked using administrative healthcare data at ICES. For example, the algorithm for diabetes includes the occurrence of any of the following: 2 or more outpatient physician visits with a diabetes diagnosis, 1 hospital admission for a diabetes-related complication, or 1 pharmacy dispensation for diabetes-related medication, all within 1 year of each other. The goal is to compare algorithms against a gold standard, which typically includes electronic medical records from primary care settings. The best algorithm is selected and applied to provincial data annually to enable population-level chronic disease surveillance, permitting advancement of key research priorities at ICS, which include disease etiology, healthcare access and utilization, and patient outcomes. Applying these algorithms to northern, rural, and remote communities has various limitations. The first includes the inequitable access to healthcare. Existing algorithms are based on health service use and interaction, which fails to consider that access to healthcare is not uniform nor equitable across the province. For example, algorithm definitions that include primary care coding may underreport chronic disease status in communities that find it difficult to access primary care, such as those living in Northern Ontario. Among residents without access to primary care, they may seek routine care at an emergency department, which is not included in the diabetes definition. Another issue with the broad application of these algorithms is validation is usually conducted on primary care data from urban centers. This assumes that chronic disease in urban centers is representative of northern, rural, and remote communities, which is not usually the case. The culmination of these limitations may result in biased chronic disease estimates in Northern Ontario and inaccurately capture chronic disease status, leading to poorly informed decision-making in areas where access to timely chronic disease management is already a challenge. The NHRC initiative was launched to address 3 primary goals. 1, raise awareness of the potential inequities imposed by validated diagnostic algorithms. 2, develop and validate northern-centric chronic disease definitions using gold standard information representative of the Northern Ontario population. And 3, promote the creation of new disease algorithms through a health equity lens. We recognize the presence and overrepresentation of First Nations communities in Northern Ontario. As our initiative moves forward, we will remain engaged with our partners and guided by the Indigenous data governance principles of ICS. The NHRC initiative comprises a pan-Ontario team with a diversity of skill sets to address these multifaceted challenges. Our team is made up of various entities within the ICS network, including the ICS Department of Research and Analysis, ICS Department of Indigenous Partnerships, Data and Analytics, ICS North, as well as clinical and algorithm development experts. Our initiative is currently focused on acquiring the relevant expertise and skill sets for a working group, collating available data assets for exploratory and validation work, and seeking feedback from stakeholders. Next steps include formulating an analysis plan, communication strategy, and disease foci. We look forward to presenting the results of our work in future conferences. Thank you.